Alright, hey guys, this is Zach Wolfwalker, and now I'm going to be doing a tutorial. The tutorial is going to be on the vambraces from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I think they look pretty cool. They're made out of wonderflex, you know, that hard plastic stuff that I used for the throwing knives. Hope you guys liked that one. This, I kind of got the idea from mueldex's vambrace, which I'll include right there. But I made my own templates and stuff like that, and I'll show you those, and I'll probably upload those as well. So you guys can make your own. They're really easy to make. Just take a look at a picture and just kind of draw them out. Or go to mueldex's webpage, which is going to be in the description below, and I'll include the link for his tutorial, so you can download the PDF from there as well. So I'll include that in the bottom of the description. So let's get started on my vambrace tutorial. Alright, so the materials that you're going to need is obviously some wonderflex. I'll include where I got that in the description below. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a heat gun. I got this for 20 bucks at Walmart. You're going to need some pens or a Sharpie or something like that. You're going to need a long sleeve shirt. You will need this. Wonderflex, when it heats up, it's very hot, and you're going to be folding this or molding this around your arm. So you will need a long sleeve shirt, but don't make it too thick. You're gonna need it, you know, to be to the consistency of like how your actual costume is going to be as well. And the next thing you're going to need is my templates, or any templates would work. Then you are going to need craft foam. I have two different colors here, just due to the fact that I want to show you how, like, this one's going to be for the bottom one, and this one's going to be for the top one, or vice versa, or, you know, whatever. Then you're going to need, I think that's it for right now. Yeah, there's going to be a extra option for part of the tutorial. So you can do this and you cannot do this. It kind of depends on what you want to do, but I'll let you guys know before I get to that point. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your template and just put it on there. I put tape on this so it can stay down while I'm tracing it. Then you're going to want to grab your pen and just trace it out. I would not use Sharpie. I said that you could use Sharpie, but for this portion I would not use Sharpie because of the foam. What it'll do is, you see, I don't know if you can see any of these smudges here. There are some smudges. It will leave those on your fingers. It will wash off fairly easily. It's just kind of a nuisance. So it's just best not to do that. Now, if you're going to be making two of these, one for each arm, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just space it out a little bit more, diagonalize it, you know, just so you can kind of fit two on there, or just, you know, grab another craft sheet. I already have two made. I'm going to be giving this one to my brother, so I don't need to make a second one. But there is one other step that I'm going to add to this one that is going to be on the later part of it, so you can actually tie it to your wrist instead of just have it kind of sit there like these ones do. I'm going to be adding some leather strips to it, because these ones, I mean, you can just take them on and off. So when you're free running or you're even just walking around, they want to fall off. I don't want to have them do that, So I'm gonna add another part to it, just like Ezio has here. If you can see that right here, he has leather straps, so it'll stay on his hand or his arm. Alright, so that's it for this part. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make 2 of them if you're going to be making 2 of them. So the next part of what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually take the other one, which is the eagle design, and you're going to want to not cut that out, but trace that as well. You will cut that out later, but for now, just trace it. So, gotta find where I put my tape. This one is a lot trickier to do. So just be careful. Use a really thin-tipped marker. On this one, you really can't use Sharpie. Use a thin-tipped marker or a thin-tipped Sharpie. Just because you got to get in the little crevices and stuff like that. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little hard to see. There, if I put it at an angle like that. So then, what you want to do is you want to take both templates. One here and then the other one here, you know, and just cut them out. Try to stay as best on the lines as you can. Alright, so the next step on what we're going to want to do is, this is the optional step. So pretty much, this is the part where you're going to have the leather straps around so it'll stay on better. I've also had the idea of just putting Velcro on your cloth here, and just doing it that way as well, and then putting Velcro on here. Just so you can, you know, just to have it stay on there better. I mean, cause it stays on pretty well, but you know, as you move around, I can feel it kind of loosening. So what this is going to do is it's just going to kind of attach here, like on here I have X's. And pretty much what that's just for is just in case I want to go back and I want to drill this one, but since we're making a new one, I figured that, you know, we just take a hole punch and just do it a step ahead. I've already pre-drawn X's. I've drawn 2 at the base, and then 1 towards the skinnier parts here. So all you got to do is just go ahead and just hole punch those. Again, this step is optional. Alright, now a thing that you are going to want to keep in mind when you are making the X's is not to have it too close to the edge, because if you have it too close to the edge, then, you know, I mean, the wonderflex is plastic, but up to a certain point, you know, it could always end up breaking and stuff like that as well, too. So you just want to kind of keep it as far away from the edge as necessary, because you don't want to have it, you know, way out in the middle. That'd just be stupid. So yeah, let's continue on with the next step. So the next step is going to be the wonderflex. Again, I will post a link down in the description to tell you where I got it. So pretty much what the next step is to grab a pen and then just trace around it. But when you trace around it, you want to leave, you know, a good clearance amount of room, because what this is going to do is this is going to form around it, and it's going to form kind of like a sandwich. So you got to be able to not see the foam, like this spot here. You can't see any foam, but because this is my first time actually using wonderflex, you can see foam like here, and here's a better one here. You can see the black foam that I used for this one here. So you want to make sure you get it as good as possible in that location there. Again, I have it here as well, so we'll do a better job of that this time. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you want to take your pen or your marker. It's actually pretty good up on the top, so we'll just kind of give it a little bit more of a shape so we can actually use some of this stuff again. And then we'll just do that. Now also keep in mind that you're going to want to make double of these as well, again, so you can make the sandwich kind of a shape to it. Alright, so we don't have enough on this one, so we'll just go ahead and cut it, and then I'll go grab another sheet of wonderflex. Alright, so now that we have all the pieces cut out, what you're going to want to do next is grab a bin for extra scraps and stuff. That's kind of why I have these over here. So I just have a regular coffee can, and what I do is I just put them in there and put it to the side and just save it for in case I need some small detail work or something like that done for them. So, yeah, so let's actually get started with the actual molding of the wonderflex onto the foam. Okay, so now we got the foam and the wonderflex in together. So this is going to be the more part that you're going to have to kind of watch. You're going to have to make sure, all the wonderflex is, so it can bend and stuff like that. Try to hold that up to the light. You can see that there. Just so, again, so it can bend and stuff like that. And, just adjust it to make sure it's good. Also, another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure there's a smooth side and a rough side. I don't know if you can see that. Hold it up. There's a smooth side and a rough side. You can tell when you actually get the wonderflex. You're going to want to have both smooth sides showing. If you don't, it is going to look like this. And again, not very neat. But if you do, it's going to look more like my throwing knives here, where it's all nice and smooth and, actually looks like metal instead of part metal and part cloth. So yeah, let's actually get started with the actual wonderflex part of it. so now what you gotta do is you just gotta cut it out. Now remember to keep a little bit of distance between the foam here that you can see and the wonderflex. Just again so it can create that kind of a sandwich pattern so it stays in there. And make sure it's also kind of warm as well. Just because it's easier to cut when it's warm rather than really hard. Another thing you also want to try avoiding is air pockets as well. Air pockets, they just don't look as nice. Doesn't make a huge difference in it. Just don't really look that great. Alright, now the next step is just to grab your long sleeve that I told you about and just form it to your arm. Make sure it's warm again. But not too hot, because then if you make it too hot, then it's going to burn right through your sweatshirt and it'll just feel really warm and it'll hurt a little bit. Alright, now your next step is going to be the exact same thing with this thing. And then when you get that all cut out and everything like that, I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, now that we have our vambrace here, we're just going to put that back over our arm, just like that, and then we're going to form this around it, so it's like this, but it's sticking on. Now wonderflex is self-adhesive, just like it was when we made the sandwich here. Now we're going to be able to do pretty much the same thing here, just like that. So yeah, let's start out with that. Alright, now the next step and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to spray paint it. And also set it outside to dry. It'll dry a lot faster. Unless it's raining, then, you know, keep it inside, of course. So now it's pretty much done. Now the only thing left to do is the optional part again, is to put the string on. Now I cut my string out to about 62, 63 inches. It's probably a bit of an overkill, but you know, if it works, it works. And we can always, you know, cut some off. So. Guys, now you're done. See how this looks. Definitely stays on a lot better. Yeah, we might have to trim just a little bit of this, but you know, it works. So you might only need to cut
like 30 something.
Yeah, maybe like 42 inches, maybe. Just so you know, I still have enough extra, but that's kind of a big overkill. So yeah, we're done. Have a nice day, guys.